That mountain you see straight ahead is Sierra Blanca. That's where Ski Apache is in Ruidoso, New Mexico. I'm coming into Carrizozo, New Mexico. I'm going south on Highway 54, headed back to Capitan, to my home base, after going to Windmill Ranches and looking at that property out in the middle of nowhere. I've pretty much decided I'm not going to do anything on that, but it did give me something to do for a while today. And this is a beautiful drive on Highway 54. Uh, it's not too, well, I tell you, it's, as far as busy, it's medium. There's a little traffic, not a lot, but it's certainly not a quote talking road, you know what I mean? Where there's virtually no traffic. But it's been an experience. I thought I'd go out and check out that land for a possible boondocking site. But, I really am not a boondocker anymore. I know it. I just thought I'd check it out and gave me something to do. And that's what life is for me, is trying to stay busy, or, getting excited about something I know I'm not going to do. I do that. I'm sure we all do. We create these things in our mind, like, oh, that would be wonderful. I'll go check it out, and then you see the reality of this place in the middle of nowhere. And if you fell and hurt yourself, and you were immobile, you'd be dead, dead. If you had a cell phone signal, even if you did have, and you called 911, they probably couldn't find you anyway. But anyway, moving along here, Rusty. Keep it going. A lot of you have sent me ideas on, Beer 30 things and stuff, and I appreciate it. And if I don't use your thought or your dream or what, or respond, it doesn't mean I'm being rude. It just means that I've got several emails, and I'll check them all out, and we'll see. But of course, I'm going to do me, and you're going to do you, and let's don't take any of that personally. Let's just enjoy our life the best way we can, and that's what I am doing. Beautiful day. Temperature right now inside of my car with no heat or air conditioning on shows to be 67 degrees. Actually, pretty nice. And humidity is low. Of course, it's always low here in New Mexico most of the time. Now, if you get into forest areas, it can go up a little bit, but pretty dry here, guys, pretty dry. Cruising along at 61 miles an hour. Shows I got 182 miles of range on my all-electric vehicle, and I need about, probably 30 or so to get back to my home base. And then I'm going to try my 50 amp charger, because I have a 50 amp outlet at my home base in Capitan, and I also have an adapter for the 30 amp motorhome, so that I can plug it into 110 until I get through charging. I talked to an electrician about getting a 30 amp plug so that I could just leave the RV plugged in while I'm doing the charging of the electric vehicle. But he came by and looked at it, said he'd get me a quote, and that's the last I heard of it. And that's been 2 days. And they may show up, who knows. Speed limit on this road, I think, is 65. I could be wrong on that. Could be wrong on a lot of things, actually. But I'm not holding anybody up, I don't think. It says do not pass. Well, I'm not planning on it. Yeah, speed limit here is 65 miles an hour. And I'm going 61. I don't think that's critical. It shows driving and accessories 98%, 2% climate, and I'm averaging, let's see here, I'm averaging about 5 miles even, 5 miles per kilowatt. Wide open property, isn't it? Can you imagine crossing this on horseback? Well, this is the area where Billy the Kid roamed around. Lincoln, the little town of Lincoln is off to the left about 28 miles. And he used to come over here to the little ghost town near here. I'm trying to think of the name of it now. And there was a bar there he could come hang out at, gamble and stuff. Because a lot of those old guys back then did. Not only they put down a few drinks, but they also played cards, man. They played poker a lot. Yeah, that wouldn't have been too far on horseback. He could probably make it in one day. Uh, and that's something you think about that. You know, you could probably average comfortably on a horse, I'm going to guess maybe 30 miles a day at a steady lope, maybe. Not, so the horse, not wearing the horse out. I think the name of the town I'm trying to think of is called White Oaks. It's off to the left here. And yeah, it's just a little, well, it used to be a mining town. I think they even had a railroad there at one time come through there. But yeah, he roamed all over this and then to Silver City. Now, to go from here to Silver City would have been a pretty good horseback ride. Yeah, that would have been probably a 3-day trip. Yeah, White Oaks is 9 miles to the left. It's a ghost town pretty much now. Seen a lot of RVs on the road today out on this highway anyway. Again, this is Highway 54. If you're going north from Alamogordo, you'd get on 54 coming through Tularosa and then Carrizozo and points north. So some of these are going to be snowbirds heading home. I like these little drives, and it's so inexpensive in this all-electric car. I mean, it cost me about 3 cents a mile here in New Mexico because the kilowatt hour cost to charge it is 13 cents per kilowatt. And right now I'm getting 4. Let me see what it shows. Details. Yeah, my lifetime average is 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. So if you divided that into 13, that would be my cost per mile. How would that compare with a gasoline vehicle? Well, it would mean I'd be getting about 120 to 140 miles to the gallon, which I could live with. Yeah, 3 cents a mile. And this trip I took today is probably, let me think about that a second. Let's see, 100 miles. So it cost me $3. Yeah, that's cheap, man. I can do that every day at $90 a month, but I won't. My utility cost for the EV, the electric vehicle, runs about $30 a month, $35 a month. But I'm not trying to cost justify the EV on that basis at all. I just enjoy the quiet vehicle. I mean, there's no motor noise as you're cruising down the highway, nothing. It's just silence. And I enjoy that. And the range for me is, I have no range anxiety at all, nor have I ever had. Why? Because I charge it at home. I'm not worried about having to charge while I'm out somewhere. But for those of you that drive a lot of miles every day, probably wouldn't work for you as well as it does for me. We're coming into Carrizozo now, and when we point this thing east, I will end the video, put this thing out of its misery. Yeah, they're doing a lot of road construction here in Carrizozo, so if you're coming through the main part of town, bear in mind that you may hit a little slow period there. Gasoline shows to be $3.39 a gallon for regular unleaded, and diesel is $3.80 something, $3.88. Yeah, that little place right over here, this Allsup's right here, that's where you want to stop and get gas if you're coming out on Highway 54, because that's the cheapest gasoline around right there. And that place is busier than Grand Central Station. If you go to the right here, you go to Valley of Fires Bureau of Land Management Campground. If you go left, you go to Carrizozo, where I'm headed right now, and to Lincoln, the little town of Lincoln, and other places. So with that in mind, now that we've got the sun in our face, we're going to have that view of the dash. So thumbs up, guys. Carpe diem, adios, bye-bye, buy anything you want anytime. But if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products in the description of all my videos. Doesn't cost you a penny. Just click on the link and go and buy whatever you choose. Drink plenty of water, stretch, walk, stand guard at the door of your mind. And remember that it's your life, and enjoy it the best way you can. Don't try to live your life for somebody else. I mean, you can be pleasant, but don't surrender your entire life, in my opinion. Be a little selfish, you know what I mean? So with that in mind, guys, adios, bye-bye.